Sai Ram students, today we will continue with this chapter, that is chapter number 8, the Pandavas in exile. So all of you be ready with a pen and a notebook to write all the important points that we are going to learn today. Now before we continue with this chapter, let us quickly revise whatever we have done earlier. We all know Mahabharata is an ancient Indian epic where the story revolves between Pandavas and Kauravas. Yudhishthira was the righteous heir to Hastinapur. But since Kaurava wants to take away their kingdom, Shakuni planned an evil game of Chaucer with Pandavas, in which Pandavas lost the game, and as a penalty, they had to stay in forest for 12 years and spend 13th year in disguise. During their last 13th year of adventure, these 5 brothers were hunting a deer in the forest and they were wandering far away from their reside place. They all were extremely tired, and Yudhishthira asked his brother one by one to find water for him as he was feeling drowsy. Yudhishthira was extremely worried when none of his brothers returned, and he decided to follow their footsteps. He reached near an enchanted pool and found all his brothers unconsciously lying on the ground. Now students, this is where we stopped last, and now let's continue with this chapter. Now, though Yudhishthira did not know it, this was what had happened. One by one, his brothers had come to this forest pool. The first to come was Sahadeva. He was full of joy at seeing water. For he was very thirsty, he knelt upon the bank and bent down to drink the water of the pool. Suddenly, a voice broke through the silence of the grove. Now students, here the new words are grove. Grove means a small group of trees. Then is enchanted. Enchanted means placed under a spell. Now, students, here we understand when Yudhishthira reached the pool, he did not exactly knew what must have happened with his brothers. But since he was a wise king and spiritually very strong, he could understand that one by one his brothers must have reached this enchanted pool. He was aware that he had first asked Sahadeva to fetch water for him. He realized that Sahadeva must have reached this enchanted pool and he must have got excited and impatient to drink water from this pool. When Sahadeva knelt upon the bank and bent down to drink the water, he heard a voice from a grove, that is a small group of trees. Now, let's read ahead. "Stop, Sahadeva," said the voice. "Do not drink from this is an enchanted pool." Startled, Sahadeva looked about him, but he could not see no one. He turned to the water. It looked cool and inviting. He was very thirsty. As he paused, undecided, the voice rang out again. Now, here the new words are startled. Startled means showing sudden shock. Then is undecided. Undecided means unsure. Now, here we understand when Sahadeva knelt upon the bank and bent down to drink the water, he heard a voice from a small group of trees asking him not to drink water from this, as this is an enchanted pool, and without his permission and without answering his question, he cannot drink the water. Sahadeva tried looking here and there, but he could not see anyone. He did not bother to pay attention towards the given warning, as he was very thirsty. He was unsure about the voice, and as he was just about to drink the water, the voice rang out again. Now, let's continue. "I am a Yaksha," it said, "and this enchanted pool belongs to me. No one may drink of its water until he answered my questions." Sahadeva rose up and waited. he could still see nobody. He seemed to be alone, except for the birds chirping in the trees and the dragonflies zooming over the water. Now, here, as soon as Sahadeva was about to drink water, he heard the voice again, which said, I am a Yaksha. Yaksha means a nature spirit, believed to be a caretaker of natural treasures according to Hindu mythology. Now, Yaksha said this enchanted pool belongs to him, and if anyone wants to drink water from this pool, then they need to answer his questions, and only then, with the satisfied answer, one can drink water from here. Sahadeva rose up. He looked here and there. He could not see Yaksha anywhere, but he could only see birds chirping in the trees and the dragonflies zooming over the water. Now, let's read ahead. It must be my fancy, Sahadeva thought. The hot sun makes my imagination work. He decided to ignore the voice of the invisible speaker. He was too tired and thirsty to wait. He made a cup of his hands and kneeling down began to drink. But hardly had the water touched his lips when he felt himself stuck down. Sahadeva's senses reeled. The world went dark and he fell down unconscious. Now here the new words are reeled. Reeled means seem to resolve. Then is unconscious. Unconscious means senseless. Now here in this paragraph we understand, since it was too hot and Sahadeva was tired and thirsty too, he thought that the voice might be his imagination. So he decided to ignore the voice of the invisible speaker. He made a cup of his hands and kneeling down he began to drink the water. The water could hardly touch his lips and Yaksha's magic took place as he had not paid attention towards his warning. Sahadeva lost his senses and he felt everything dark and he fell down unconscious. When Nakula arrived shortly afterwards, he was grieved and surprised to see his brother in this condition. But so great was his own thirst that he did not wait. He rushed to the water edge to drink, but as he stooped, he too heard the Yaksha's warning voice. However, he too paid no attention. Now, here the new words are stooped. Stoop means having the head and shoulders habitually bent forward. Then the next is grieve. Grieve means sorrow. Now students, here we understand when Sahadeva did not return after a long time, Yudhishthira asked Nakula to look after him and also to fetch water. And when Nakula reached at that particular enchanted pool, he was surprised to see Sahadeva lying unconsciously on the ground. He was full of sorrow, but he was so thirsty that he could not wait for a long time. He rushed towards the water's edge, and as soon as he bent down to drink water, he too heard Yaksha's warning voice. Same as Sahadeva, he did not pay attention towards Yaksha's warning. And then what? Let's read further and understand. He drank and instantly he too was struck down and rendered unconscious. When Bhima came to the spot, the same fate overtook him. Though he was strong and mighty and sent a showers of arrows in all directions and searched all around for the hidden enemy. Now here we understand, since Nakula was extremely thirsty, he too, like Sahadeva, did not bother to pay attention towards the invisible voice, and he drank the water. And so, as soon as he did this without permission, Yaksha's magic emerged and Nakula fell down unconscious. Soon after this, Bhima was asked to search Sahadeva and Nakula and also water by Yudhishthira. Bhima was physically very strong and a bit impatient personality. He too came near the enchanted pool. He was very shocked to see both his brothers Nakula and Sahadeva lying unconscious on the ground. He too heard the invisible voice warning him not to drink water without answering his question. Bhima felt the voice might be some enemy, so he showered arrows in all directions, but he had the same destiny. As soon as he tried to drink the water, he too fell on the ground unconsciously. Now let's read further. Arjuna fared no better, and when Yudhishthira came at last to the pool in search of them, he found his four brothers lying as if they were dead. For a long time Yudhishthira wept over them. Then, feeling his thirst overpower him, he dragged himself to the edge of the water. Now students, here we understand, after these three brothers, Arjuna was the next. When he was put into this situation, his intelligence did not perform better, and he too lay unconscious on the ground. Finally, when these four brothers did not return, Yudhishthira was extremely worried, and he decided to look for them. And when he saw his brother lying as if they were dead, he cried a lot. After some time, when he felt his thirst overpowering him, he dragged himself to the edge of the water. Now, let's read further. But as he bent down, Yudhishthira heard the Yaksha's warning voice. "Who are you?" he called and looked around. "Ask your questions. I shall answer them as well as I can." The voice continued, "I am Yaksha, O Yudhishthira, and it is well for you that you heeded my warning. Now listen to my questions." Now here in this paragraph, the new word is heeded. Heeded means take note of. Now here we understand, when Yudhishthira bent down to drink water, he heard a voice warning him not to drink water from this enchanted pool. Yudhishthira, since he was very intelligent and spiritually strong, he asked the invisible person, "Who are you?" And he also insisted him to ask questions for which he shall answer them as well as he can. And the voice continued and replied him that he is Yaksha, and he was happy to see that Yudhishthira was paying attention towards his question. So Yaksha started with his question. And now students, let's read further and listen to his questions. "What makes the sun shine?" "The power of God," Yudhishthira answered. "What is man's surest weapon against danger?" the Yaksha asked. And Yudhishthira said, "Courage. Courage is the surest weapon in danger." "What gives more to man than even the earth does?" "What feeds him and sustains him and makes him strong?" the Yaksha's question. Yudhishthira replied, "A mother." "Surely it is only a mother who gives a man life, feeds him and sustains him. A mother is more than the earth." Now here, Yaksha showered with his question. The first question he asked, "What makes the sun shine?" For which Yudhishthira answered, "The power of God." Next, Yaksha asked, "What is man's surest weapon against danger?" For this, Yudhishthira said, "Courage. Courage is the surest weapon in danger." Then the next was, "What gives more to man than even the earth does? What feeds him and sustains him and makes him strong?" Now for this, Yudhishthira replied, "A mother." It is only mother who gives a man life, feeds him, sustains him. A mother is more than the earth, right? Now, let's read further. When does a man become loved by his fellows? Asked the Yaksha, and Yudhishthira responded, when he gives up pride. What is that which makes a man happy when he has lost it? The Yaksha went on. Anger, said Yudhishthira, without hesitation, for he knew that when a man gives up anger, he is full of peace. The Yaksha continued. Now here, students, Yaksha continued with this question, and he asked, when does a man become loved by his fellows? For this, Yudhishthira responded, when he gives up pride. Yaksha went on with his question. He asked, what is that which makes a man happy when he has lost it? Yudhishthira, without any hesitation, replied, anger, as he knew that when a man gives up anger, he is full of peace. Now students, let's move on. Yudhishthira looked at the unconscious form of his brothers. It was hard for him to decide, but he spoke at last. O kind Yaksha, he said, restore to me my brother Nakula. And why Nakula? The Yaksha voice asked. Now, when Yaksha asked him to select anyone to be alive, it was difficult for Yudhishthira to decide. But finally, he asked Yaksha to restore Nakula's life. For this, Yaksha asked him, why does he want Nakula to be alive? Is not Bhima more useful to you? Will you not benefit from his great strength in the war that will surely come? And Arjuna, why do you not choose Arjuna? Is he not dearer to you than all? Is he not the most handsome, the most skilled among them, all in the use of arms? Why then do you choose Nakula? Now here, when Yaksha asked, why does he want Nakula's life to be restored? He continued asking, is not Bhima more useful to him? As he felt Bhima can benefit him with his great strength in the war that will surely come in future. Now, Yaksha continued asking, why not choose Arjuna? Is he not dearer to you than all? And as he felt Arjuna is most handsome, skilled among all of them in the case of arms. Now, let's read further. Then Yudhishthira gave his noblest answer. Listen, O Yaksha, he said, righteousness and truth are a man's only weapon and protection. The strength of Bhima and the skill of Arjuna would be of no use to me if I acted unrighteously. Indeed, I would be unrighteous if I looked to my own benefits and begged for Bhima's life or Arjuna in preference to Nakula's. Now here, when Yaksha asked reason for selecting Nakula, Yudhishthira gave a wise and noble answer. He said, righteousness and truth are a man's only weapons and protection. He said, selecting Bhima or Arjuna would not be righteous. It would be as equal as being selfish if he asked for Bhima or Arjuna's life to be restored. Now, let's read further. For Nakula is Madri's son, and Bhima and Arjuna, like me, are Kunti's children. Of Kunti's children, I at least live. But if Nakula and Sahadeva should both die, then Madri's line would end. Therefore, O Yaksha, it is right that Nakula's life should be restored rather than Bhima's or Arjuna's. Now here, Yudhishthira continued with his answer. He said, Bhima and Arjuna are Kunti's son like me, and Nakula and Sahadeva are Madri's son. He said, from Kunti's children, I am at least alive. But It would be unjust if there is no one alive from Madari's children. It would be unkind and unjust towards Mother Madari. So, he said, Yaksha, it is righteous to restore Nakula's life rather Bhima's or Arjuna's. Now students, I will stop this session here and we will continue with this chapter in our next online session. Now, it's time for assignment. As you all know, you will be getting a link. You need to complete your work and then click on submit button. Alright, Sai Ram.